Maybe that was the plan. Before we get started, I do need some help from you guys. I need some. So my wife's birthday was Monday. My daughter's birthday is today. So I, of course, don't have any gifts. So if anybody has any good gift, not you, Clarence. If anybody with style, Patrick. Nick, is Nick in here? He's got some style. You know, I mean, if anybody's got any good ideas, okay? I'm a big spender. Just send it my way through my representative here, Tad Carper. Because birthdays come at the worst time. I mean, they really do. Where? Nicole, all right, Nicole, yeah. All right, let's go. That's good. Yeah, honey, something's coming, but we just got to figure out what it's going to be. We don't know yet. Yeah. Okay. Lucchese's good. Yeah, that's good. See, you said Todd wouldn't have any good ideas. He did say he wouldn't have any. Did you? Does she know? Because now she does. Oh, okay. I got you. That's good. The other thing, you guys will get an update on some of the injuries. A couple guys will be on the injury report. Dak's got a little hip. He got banged around a little bit in the game. Should be fine. We're going to be real smart with the tempo today because basically it's Tuesday for their bodies. But just when you guys see that, so you're not surprised. Cool.
That's the only thing?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of minor things. Yeah, you'll see some guys on there, but nothing major.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. I have that question. It's hard to play that position, as you know, but the level he's playing and how difficult has it been for him just to play at that level for the majority of the season? Yeah,
it's definitely hard, man. But that's what the great ones do, and there's a consistency about it, and I think that's the thing that I think when you look at quarterbacks that are playing good, there's stats that you can always look at, hey, 4 touchdowns here, whatever it is, but the consistency of what Dak's really done over the course of the year is what I think is so impressive, and against some really good competition, and he's given us a chance in every game to put ourselves, for the most part, in a chance to win, and just proud of him. But again, I always go back to the work ethic and the stuff that he puts into it during the week, which allows him to go out there and play that way. It's not something where you just wake up on Sunday or Monday and go out there and sling it around and put up the kind of numbers he's putting up. It's, the process of Monday getting in here, watching the game film, then moving into the new team that you're playing and the prep for that, and then taking care of his body and all that stuff. It's hard, and it's a grind, and I think he's not mastered his routine, but I think he's very comfortable with his routine and how he preps and takes care of his body.
Obviously, having the weapons that he has, with Pickens and CD, and obviously Williams is playing in the line, how much fun do you think he's having? I think you referred to him as a point guard, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
How much fun do you think he likes being in that? So if you talk about quarterbacks that gunslingers and all that, and now you say he's a point guard.
Yeah, I think that's the evolution of Dak. It's a maturing process. I mean, all quarterbacks want to throw it 40, 50 yards down the field. You obviously saw him launch one on after the sudden change down there. GP did a great job breaking up a potential PI, or interception. But yeah, he is. I mean, your job as that position is to spread the ball around, get the ball out of your hand, let guys create, and we have guys that can do that, which is no different than some of the greatest point guards in the world, man. They just Magic Johnson dishes it off to Worthy and guys like that, and he and we are all very blessed to have the guys that we have.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. You're telling your age when you pointed out Magic Johnson.
Yeah, showtime, baby. Come on, showtime.
Man of a certain age.
Can you get to it?
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Usually I have to wait one more question to get that. Yeah. This guy's all business. This guy's always all business. Yeah.
Quentin and Osa and Kenny Clark and the tush push is such a big part of the Eagles' offense. And I don't know if there's any way to solve it, but you have a better chance now with what you have up front.
Yeah, I mean, again, they were the ones that started it, so they get to name it, and they still do a very good job of it. But we've got some reinforcements in there and guys that have seen it, and it's a game of leverage. It really is, and I do think that the league is trying to make sure that it's a legal play, in terms of everybody getting off on the snap and stuff like that. But they're still really good at it. We'll still see it, and but we've definitely got some reinforcements in there that give you a chance to win the leverage game.
On the flip side, certainly your offensive line is playing better. I think Tyler Guyton had one of his better games. But just to watch Tyler Smith just in the tape, you're asking him to peel out and pick out people on the backside. Is that normal for a guard? And or would that just speak to Tyler Smith's ability, just seeing him peel around help on this backside, help on this side.
Yeah, I think it speaks to his athleticism. I mean, one of the things we love about Sis is his athleticism, and the power is there. It's evident just how strong he is, but the athlete is probably not talked about enough. I'll show my age again since we've talked about this, but really reminds me a lot of a guy that I was around watching growing up with my dad, Will Shields, who was a great Hall of Famer, I think. Could be wrong about that. I think he is. But Hall of Fame guard, certainly in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. But that athleticism and the power and the combination of that is special. And Tyler's very special as a player. But the play style and the wiring of the young man is right, too. He just loves to do stuff like that. And he brings a physical nature to our play style.
Now, when you talk about Hall of Fame guards wearing 73, you're supposed to mention Larry Allen here.
Well, absolutely, Larry. Well, I was waiting for the follow-up question about that because Larry's probably the best of all time.
Hi, Brian.
How you doing?
What will
That was an
Dak-
awkward exchange. You guys, that was a little awkward, yeah.
What will Dak do today?
Yeah, he'll go through all his normal stuff. It's just because it's a mock tempo. It's just slow. He's just a little sore, I'm a little sore too, but for different reasons, just sleeping short. So, but yeah, I mean, it's because it's just slow mock walk through. He'll be fine.
And then your rookie class, you got Revel came back this past week. What do you make of the production you've been able to get from those guys?
Yeah, again, it's kind of case by case. I mean, you look at T-Book, and I think again he's getting much more comfortable playing guard. He missed a couple games in there, but again, I think we love the person, we love the power, we love the position. He's got a great matchup this week against one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game, in Jalen Carter, which he didn't get a chance to play Jalen last game, and it'll be fun to watch him because Jalen creates all kinds of problems. But T-Book's doing great. Ezaraku, I think we've talked about him. Somebody asked about his ability to play the run, his ability to influence and affect the passer. I think is great. He's being aided because of his work ethic, but because of the guys we have inside of him. I think he's doing great. It was great to see Von get out there. He belongs. He's talented. He's long. He's aggressive. All the traits that you look for in a corner. I keep going. You got Shamar, who's played a lot of valuable snaps. Again, no one is higher on Jaden Blue than me. It just sometimes takes a little bit of time, but I love the talent. I love the explosiveness. I don't want to miss out on people. I probably will. But, again, overall, I think this rookie class and even just the youth of this team is something that's very exciting for me. Kalen Carson, I talked about him, very passionately yesterday because I do think he deserves it. He's been through a lot, and he played really well last game.
You mentioned Jalen Carter. Obviously, he didn't the spitting thing. What kind of difference do you think that makes for them and going against him?
It's a big difference. He's a really good player, again, he's packaged in there with some really good players, and Jordan, Davis is obviously an incredible player as well, and you got Jalen Phillips. I mean, the front, this is a hell of a defense. I think they're best in the league. I think, and again, it's going to be really, really tough, but we love that challenge, and we think we're pretty good too.
John Machado with The Athletic. Jalen Phillips, what have you seen from him in the couple games that they've had?
Yeah, long. Long. Really good pass rush tools. Really good motor, but it's the size and the length that creates the problems. He's hard to stay blocked because he's slippery. He gets off blocks very well, and he can affect the quarterback because he's got a really cool assortment of pass rush moves that he uses. And I don't know him, but it looks like he's a guy that studies a lot of film because you see him counter and take a strength of a player and kind of use it against him. And I think anytime you see a former coach like Vic that was around him in Miami, and then you go trade for that guy, there was a reason that Vic stood on the table and said, "Hey, I want Jalen Phillips here," and I think he's proven why Vic felt so strongly about it, and he's reason he's a high first-round pick.
And then when you're figuring out what guys you're going to have active during the game at running back, what makes the difference when you go with a Malik Davis over a Jaden Blue?
Yeah, it's really everything. When you get to sometimes that second and third back, and we're carrying a little heavy at some other positions, whether it's linebacker or corners or defensive linemen. You're a little bit short in some areas, but it really is. It's really both phases. It's offense and special teams. And so Malik's done an incredible job since he got back, and he's a personal protector. He's doing a great job. I think he's on 3 of the 4 core special teams units, and he's running well. And he and Jaden will continue to compete. But right now, when you're looking at the two, it's like, that's where Jaden's got to understand until you're the guy, which at some point, hopefully he is the guy, that you got to be able to impact the game other ways. And I think he understands that. Jaden's learning a lot about this league. And, again, I think, he's always going to continue to compete and put his best foot forward, and then doesn't have to like the decision if it goes against him to play someone else. But he's got to make sure he's always prepared to go play.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. How are Solomon Thomas and Trayvon Diggs progressing through their injuries?
Good. Solly's making progress. Again, we'll know more, not really today, probably tomorrow. And Trey, again, all signs are that he's doing everything he's supposed to do. And so, again, positive reports on both those guys.
And then the young corners they've gotten, Mitchell and DeJean, where have you, from last year to the first game this year, and then over the course of the year so far, where have you seen them kind of grow?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about Mitchell first. I mean, I just, very high on him, very good cover corner, physical, patient. He understands that there's a time clock that the offense has to work with because they're good at disrupting and affecting the quarterback. But I think the coverage skills, you've seen the growth. You've seen him improve and get better. And I think he's got a chance to be a star in this league and trending that way. And then the versatility of Cooper DeJean is what they love about him. I mean, the guy plays corner and base. He plays nickel. He plays all kinds of things. He's a very good blitzer. The football instincts is off the chart. He's got a knack for the ball. And there's nothing new. I mean, they've done a great job of drafting and getting these guys and develop them. And I think they've done a great job with those two guys for sure.
Skylar Dixon with the AP. What's your sense of whether there's any kind of new range of emotions with the first home game without Marshawn versus having already played one game without him?
Yeah, again, I think, we're getting used to Skylar, the new norm. I think we're, this will be, a chance for us to honor him at home. I believe there's some things that we're going to do for his family. Again, my job as the coach is to make sure our guys are not caught off guard with anything. So whatever we are planning as we finalize some things, I'll make sure that they know and they're aware of that. But again, whether we play home or away, we're going to honor Marshawn ourselves with the way we play and our play style, and whether we have a moment of silence or we don't, or whether we introduce members of his family or we don't, moving forward for the rest of the year and beyond. I mean, he's always going to be out there with us to honor.
You mentioned the new normal. Are you sensing that, feeling that this week?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. My assistant, Laura, came in today, and I was blaring my music in my office, and I'm a big music guy, and she kind of was, tongue-in-cheek, kind of being silly, but she's like, it's great to see you playing your music loud and whatnot. And so that kind of made me chuckle because I'm feeling more back to myself.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. You guys obviously invest a lot of resources in your defensive line. The Eagles have had a really good defensive line. From a play calling standpoint, just how much of a problem does having interior defensive lines like the Eagles have and you guys have now present to an offensive play caller?
Yeah, it's hard just because, when you try to, run the ball up the middle, it's hard, and what these guys do a great job of on both sides, whether you're talking about, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, whether you're talking about Quinnen, Osa, Kenny, Solly, whatever, they put the pressure on the offensive line to feel like they have to use combination blocks. Well, then when the linebackers, which, again, Philly's got, Zach and 17, what's his name? Sorry. Yeah, great player. Dean, great player. Those guys, they come downhill fast, and then, Campbell, the rookie, they put the pressure on you because when they fire into their gaps, you can't stay on the singles or the double teams, and the singles become, and they get split. But I think it's really it's really a problem. It's a problem on both sides, and it's what you want. You want to have a firm and strong front seven, and they have definitely shown to be able to do that.
You talked about Kalen yesterday. As a coach, when you challenge a guy to do something, you see the things happen in practice and then it shows up in the game. What does that do for you?
Yeah, it's exciting. You use it to talk to the other players. Like, let's talk about, Jaden again for a sec. Like, hey, look at what Kalen's done. And, I told you guys yesterday or the day before, we challenged Kalen a couple weeks ago about the urgency. And I think that's part of it. But, like, maximize your opportunities. And Kalen, again, his first reason that he was activated and put up was because of special teams. And he did that. And then he kept doing a great job in practice and going against guys and making plays out there in practice, and so he earned the right. And then, like everyone, I tell my kids all the time, when given an opportunity, you got to maximize the opportunity, and he did that, on Monday night, and so therefore he's earned more playing time, and that's real. And again, I think that it's a great teaching tool for all your young players.
Garrett?
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Hey, Brian. Your offense has done a pretty strong job getting Javonte Williams the ball in the run game, then feeding CD and George Pickens. A lot of talk with Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, and their 2 wide receivers. It doesn't look like they've been on the same page as they were on last year. Kind of what are you seeing from Jalen Hurts and kind of how their offenses function this year?
I've just watched a few of the games. I think, it's Jalen's an incredible player. He can beat you throwing. He can beat you running. We have to do a great job of keeping him in the pocket. We learned that in the last game. We knew that in the last game, but he can extend plays. I think you could put their 2 receivers up there, with Devontae and AJ against anybody in the league. I mean, they're very, very talented, and so at any moment they can strike. They're explosive. Then you mix in the runner, who's arguably the best, if not one of the best in the league, in Saquon. You got tight ends, and then you got the offensive line. So, again, I think, everybody finds their flow at different times, and this is a tough league. And at the end of the day, I'm not looking at the film and saying, man, these guys are struggling. I'm looking at this film and saying, man, these guys are dangerous.
And how much can the addition of Quentin Williams help keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket? Because obviously he didn't have him in that first match.
Yeah, again, he's going to impact, the quarterback in different ways. But, again, it's going to come down to our rush lane discipline, our eyes, and things like that. And, again, you're kind of, you're caught because when he gets out, he's got the ability to beat you throwing the ball or running the ball. And but, again, I think, we were able to look at the game, and talk about some different answers and things like that to try to contain him. But he's hard to contain.
And Christy?
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan. With Philly, I know the tush push gets a lot of the attention, but it seems like their approach, like going for it on 4th down so much, they're really not very good on the 3rd down conversion statistically. But this is kind of an overall question. I think we see it with Philly's approach. And I wonder if you see it not just for yourself, but throughout the league and college, where now, as a play caller, you're calling for 4 downs and not like conceding that if you don't get it on 3rd, that conceding a punt.
Yeah, that's real. I think it's much more in vogue now. Again, I don't want to say the Dan Campbell effect because it's been guys were going for 4th down, but I think it's definitely in vogue now that you can look at it and say, okay, based on field position where we are, how you feel about your calls. The thought is it's kind of 4 down in our mind as a play caller until it's not, until you put yourself either by field position, you're way backed up, or it's 3rd and really, really long, But I know, we went into the game last one, we, went for it on 4th down. I knew that was going to be a situation we were going to go for it on 4th down, so I was comfortable with the 3rd down call. The touchdown to Fergie, knew we were going to go for it on 4th down if we didn't get in, and that helps. The problem is when you don't think that way and then it's 4th down and let's say it's 3rd and long and you hit a pass on 3rd and 13 or 14 for 11 or 12 yards and it's on you quick, you're like, it's a little bit harder because you weren't planning on doing it. So sometimes it's like, what do I want to do here? And that's, you got to go with your gut instincts a little bit on that.
If I could just follow up on
Sure.
that, because when you say in vogue, sometimes that's fad, but do you think that's just something that's kind of temporary, or you just see that, like for the long haul, like moving forward, that this is going to
I think everything's cyclical. I think it'll change at some point. I mean, there's people that are old school. I'm probably more actually old school than some, but I do think that, it's, we don't sit there and read a book and say, okay, hey, that says this is 65% chance we need to, go for it. We don't do that. We trust our instincts. I'm in constant communication with Ryan Feeder, but again, a lot of it comes down to the type of game it is or the type of game you think it's going to be. And, again, in that situation, the reason I was so committed to going for it was that if we didn't get it, I thought we would, and we did. But if we didn't get it, I was very comfortable putting our defense out there knowing that they would have had to go 96 yards or whatever it was. That's all part of the process that you go into.
Anybody else? Good?
Thanks, guys.